After days of relative calm, tensions in West Asia are rising once again. US President Donald Trump has defended fresh military action against Iran, while Tehran has hit back with strong words and regional strikes, raising questions over whether the ceasefire was ever more than a temporary pause. As both sides claim they want peace while keeping their military options open, the world is watching closely. Our last report looks at the latest escalation, Iran's strategic leverage, and what this means for global energy, trade, and regional stability.
Well, I think we just want to win. We just want to win. We're doing very well. We're trying to be nice as you can be in a situation like that. But they're being decimated. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft. Doesn't mean they don't have any capability. They have some, but very little. We just want to win. We don't want to have them. It's very simple.
Bushehr struck. Abadan struck. Iran is experiencing a deja vu in the war. The US has begun striking Iran again, with Trump still warning Iran. The question is, was the ceasefire just a photo op?
Looking at this latest conflict and the latest threats, we need to really be focusing on the fact that this is not just the United States, not just Trump's decision, because it would be a joint effort, again, along with Israel. And so you have the two countries, both have leadership and administrations that are just getting tired of this back and forth with Iran, where they agree to a ceasefire, they agree to make changes, they agree to open the Strait of Hormuz, and then within a few days, a few weeks, they either have a ceasefire violation or they close the strait again. So this is becoming a problem ever since several months ago, that it looked like Iran was backed into the corner. And I believe, and Trump and others believe, that this should have been taken care of decisively back then. And as a result of it not being finished with regime change, we keep seeing this pattern again and again. So right now, the situation, as we have learned, is that the United States State Department has issued warnings to have Americans leave up to 10 different countries that are in the affected Gulf area. And that should be very indicative that they are willing, that the U.S. along with Israel is willing to move forward with a decisive attack on Iran's infrastructure.
In retaliation to U.S. strikes, Iran has started striking its neighbors in West Asia. Donald Trump has claimed that he has halted the strikes on Iran because, according to Uncle Sam, Iran had urged them to. Iran has hit back, stating that Trump has backed down. The war may have paused, but the battle for supremacy is far from over.
Even the United States can manage to change the behavior of this regime. How long can it take? This regime is very clever. They know how to manage their foreign policies with their allies. And
from Bahrain to Kuwait, West Asia is once again come on Iran's radar.
The US-Iran war is now in its 6 months. If I have to characterize the current phase of the war as geopolitical analyst, I will say that this war is passing through a phase of coercive diplomacy. Negotiations and intermittent attacks from both sides are going on simultaneously. While Iranian attacks appears more symbolic, less intense, less in numbers, I would say, and less effective, US retaliation are intense, well targeted, and quite devastating. This indicates that Trump is clearly playing a game of carrot and stick with the hardliners in the IRGC. The slow pace of this war is attributable to two factors. First factor is that Trump team is holding back its total firepower on Iran to avoid its total destruction. And the second factor, I think, is the Trump team is simultaneously trying to manage the international oil price not going out of hand beyond $100 per barrel. So you see, America is managing not only the war, but the oil prices as well.
The big question now, will this conflict follow a familiar American script? While the Iran conflict is different, history serves as a reminder that military superiority does not always guarantee a political victory.
Announcement by Trump that they're going to hold off on any attacks at the moment, that still remains to be seen. And there are many of us that believe that that would be a mistake, that at this point that you need to move forward. And I think that Trump is just using this as a potential tactic, as he loves to do in his negotiating manners.
That is why the world is watching whether this will remain a limited conflict or evolve into another prolonged standoff.
US and IRGC objectives of this war also differs widely. To American, winning this war is, in the eyes of American public, is important. But to IRGC, merely survival, even if Iran is devastated, is a victory. Therefore, whatever the legacy media says or report from purely military point of view, Islamic regime of Iran, in my assessment, is a defeated power. The semblance of resistance that a defiant IRGC is displaying at the moment by disrupting shipping in Hormuz is an act of survival instinct.
Its missile capabilities, its regional proxy network, and its ability to disrupt global trade routes remain its biggest advantages. During the escalation, Iran and its regional allies repeatedly threatened to disrupt not just the Strait of Hormuz, but also the Bab el-Mandeb, one of the world's most critical shipping lanes. Any disruption at these two maritime choke points could send oil prices soaring, disrupt global supply chains, and shake the world's economy. For now, shipping continues, but the threat still hangs over global markets. Fresh attack will invite an immediate response.
I believe for United States, regime change is not an option, it's an obligation. If Trump administration do anything except regime change in Iran, they are the defeat, they are the loser of this war.
Diplomatic channels may still be open, but so are the military options. Today, both sides claim they want peace. And yet, both sides continue to prepare for the next round of confrontation.
This is a this I think is a long-term project. It will not happen in few weeks, months of bombing alone. Hence, a multi-pronged strangulation strategy is already in play. Military pressure is on through relentless tactical as well as strategic bombings, preparing grounds for selective spatial ground actions. The IRGC war-waging abilities and its ability to disrupt traffic in Hormuz is being degraded slowly, but certainly. Iran, all critical military and civil supply lines and active import routes are also being destroyed very, very systematically. Its railway land link to China has been disrupted by targeting major bridges and roads. After effective American blockage of Hormuz and Bandar Abbas, the only major sea supply line through Chabahar has also been effectively and comprehensively. India's Chabahar investment and facilities had been a collateral damage of this process. Pakistan-Iran porous border tickling Chinese supplies to Iran through Pakistan is also under lens and being addressed to. The last remaining vital supply line from Russia via Caspian Sea is very long and vulnerable, and air interdiction and supply disruption can be carried out. And even the Kurdish rebels forces who are aligned to CIA can also disrupt this supply line. Therefore, Iran and IRGC's national earning and source of revenue is completely choked by sanctions, completely stopping shadow shipping operations, narco terror trade through Venezuela of Iranian oil to China from Kurg, by closing and shutting down all money laundering channels, running parallel economy with the help of UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi, and Qatari banks, all have been closed. So, what is India's outlook in this war? India is no doubt one of the major non participating affected parties to this war. Not only world's 25% oil, 50% plus oil based chemicals, and 45% fertilizer, and 80% of the entire Gulf trade to Asian countries pass through Hormuz. Its closure has no doubt caused massive disruption to Asian vital energy supply lines, trade, commerce, and impacting the economies of all Asian countries. ASEAN countries, east of Hormuz. And India as well is the one of the major affected parties, including China. Therefore, India's GDP growth might as well slow down this year by few percentage if this war doesn't stop fast enough. Therefore, India's wish this war to end fast. If IRGC is subdued and a more moderate government in Iran committed to peace comes to power, India will be a great beneficiary of it. As India at one point of time was the major importer of Iranian oil, remember, it being closest to the Indian refineries, it cuts down transportation costs substantially. So if the sanction is lifted, India will be a great beneficiary. The Chabahar trade route can also be revived if the sanction is removed, war stops, which will be a boon for Indian economy. Our trade route to Central Asia will be open. Subduing of the IRGC will also usher peace in Middle East, which will result in extension of the Abraham Accord, I2U2, and IMEC trade corridor, which will be another boon to Indian economy. On the contrary, if IRGC prevails, chaos, disruption, and violence in Middle East is likely to continue. That is all what I tried.
The coming days will decide whether this ceasefire was genuine or merely a strategic pause before the next phase of the war. And for the world, the biggest fear remains the same. History has shown that wars can begin in days but can last for decades.